Armchair, we think that focus on miracles in the spread of religion is an outdated and counterproductive strategy. It diminishes the true essence of religious understanding and undermines the credibility of religious institutions. So proud to propose. Let's first establish a few points in the setup. What do you mean by emphasis on miracles in the context of spreading religion? This looks like religious narratives that center on stories of divine interventions, miraculous healings, or events that defy natural laws, presented as evidence of higher power. It's the idea that God or divine force actively intervenes in the material world in ways that can be observed and experienced. This focus is often used as a strategy to convert non-believers to subscribe to their religion. This is what we're writing on the side proposition. Then what does psychiatric practice look like? We prefer a world where religions are about the internal pursuit of spirituality. Instead of emphasizing miracles, religion should highlight moral and ethical teachings, spiritual guidance, and a God who offers support and wisdom rather than material or physical interventions. Faith should be rooted in the values and not miracles. This shift will foster a more resilient and fulfilling faith, better aligned with secular sensibilities as well. Moving on to my first argument, it is that emphasis on miracles undermines the resilience of the religious faith. When religion emphasizes miracles, its expectation that God will intervene in the material world in extraordinary ways. This can be deeply problematic for believers as it sets the follows for disillusionment. Imagine a person facing a life-threatening illness or a community ravaged by natural disaster. If their faith is built on the idea that God performs miracles, they'll be in despair and ask, why isn't God helping me? Why has God abandoned me? This can lead to disillusionment as followers begin to question their faith or believe that they are being punished by a God they feel should be intervening. In contrast, when a religious faith that emphasizes moral teaching and spiritual
UI.
connections is far more resilient. No, sir. When the focus is on the ethical teachings of religion and the comfort of knowing that a higher power watches over you spiritually rather than materially, believers are better equipped to handle hardships. They don't need to see miracles to validate their faith. Their belief isn't on contingent and witnessing divine interventions in the physical world, but rather on the strength and comfort that comes from living according to the teachings of their religion and feeling a spiritual connection to the divine. This approach to faith is especially crucial for those who are struggling. Religion is often most needed by people who are facing hardship
UI.
and who see little hope. No, sir. And then material circumstances. If their faith is not dependent on the expectation of miracles, it becomes a constant source of support rather than something that might fail them when they need it the most. What this makes their faith more sustainable and fulfilling as it grounded in its values and a sense of spiritual well-being rather than an occasional appearance of a miracle. Moving on to my arguments. Second argument. It is an emphasis on miracles to undermine religious credibility. In today's world, where scientific understanding and rational thought dominate, the emphasis on miracles can severely damage the credibility of religious institutions. This means that an emphasis on miracles has tarnished the reputation of religion and led to erosion of credibility. First mechanism is as follows. As society becomes more educated and scientifically literate, the reliance on miracles is appear outdated or even deceptive. This is particularly true among younger generations who are taught to question and seek evidence-based explanations. When religions heavily emphasize miracles, they risk being seen as superstitious or irrational, causing people to dismiss them altogether. Moreover, the second mechanism of this argument is that the focus on miracles justifies the rejection of a scientific literacy within religious communities. When believers are taught to expect divine intervention in the form of miracles, like the creation of the universe in 7 days, they become less likely to engage with scientific ideas, such as the theory of evolution, which are perceived as conflicting with their faith. This creates a divide between religious communities and the broader society, isolating believers and excluding them from important public discourses. As a result, religion itself becomes more insular and less relevant in a world that increasingly values scientific understanding. Thus, Judge, so happy to propose.
Good afternoon, panel. I'm the first speaker and your few things my speech today. 1. Some rebuttals. 2. Give your burdens. 3. Arguments and close. Our world today is full of conflicts, despair, problems, wars, epidemics, and worse. Human struggles every day to make ends meet. cure the incurable diseases, raise happy children, make good lives for themselves. However, there are many roadblocks we face in trying to improve our lives today. The status quo is that science is progressing at a rapid pace, but yet the world continues to have newer problems to solve. In this situation, what should a common man do? Continue to wait for science to solve all problems forever, or draw hope and inspiration from religion and stories of miracles so they can believe that a better world is possible? This debate is not about whether miracles happen or not, but rather the impact of miracles on our society and people. By dismissing miracles, my opponents overlook their powerful impact on people's lives. Miracles offer hope, especially during hard times. Consider someone is in pain or loss. What gives them strength isn't just science, but also the belief that miracles can happen. Miracles offer comfort and hope. For change, acts like fasting for health don't undermine science but support it, emotionally complementing medical efforts with hope. The key stakeholders are religious followers, religious leaders and institutions, society at large. The means often justify the end. Our burden here is to prove that emphasizing miracles has a positive impact on religion and society at large. By fostering faith, unity and moral guidance, miracles strengthen community beliefs, reinforce core religion values, and serve as powerful spiritual symbols. To prove this, we have the following three arguments. 1. Miracles bring hope in times of despair. 2. Miracles are a great tool to impart moral and ethical lessons. 3. Miracles lead to better community bonds and social cohesion. I jump straight to the first argument. Miracles provide help. The problem in times of crisis like the COVID-19 pandemic, fear and uncertainty leave people feeling lost and alone. Science offers solution, but it can fill deep emotional void, the ache in our hearts when we are overwhelmed by loss, fear or hardship. The solution: miracles bring the hope we desperately need when everything else feels too heavy to bear. They remind us that something greater is watching over us.
On that point, sir.
Offering comfort in a way that logic and reason can't make reassure us that we are never truly alone, and even in our darkest moments there is higher power capable of turning the impossible into reality. I'll take the POI.
Since it's like protected time, I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
The impact.
Sorry.
Believing in miracles lights a spark of hope that is spread like wildlife, lifting our spirits and giving us the courage to keep going. It's not just about getting through tough times. It's about inspiring kindness, compassion, and unity. When we believe in miracles, if we remind each other that even in the face of unimaginable pain, there's still a chance for something beautiful to happen. This shared hope strengthens us, connecting us in our humanity, and brings light to a world that so desperately needs it. As Marina Williamson said, miracles are a national expression of loves. The real miracles is the love that inspires them. Miracles aren't just events. They're born from acts of courage, compassion, and love, transforming lives, uniting us into the beliefs that even the impossible can be made real. They show us that in the moments of darkness, light can still be breaking through. My second speaker will explain the last two arguments. Thank you.
Honorable Judge, miracles only instill fear-based faith even on the opposite side's best case. Today, I, as a Deputy Prime Minister of Spain, will state two rebuttals and one argument that will showcase why we want this debate. Now on to my rebuttals. They stated that miracles serve as crucial instruments of hope and psychological resilience for believers, particularly in times of crisis. However, the psychological support offered by miracles are often fleeting and conditional on the belief that divine intervention will occur. In contrast, moral and ethical teachings provide a stable foundation for resilience that is not dependent on external events. When believers internalize moral and ethical teachings, they develop an intricate sense of purpose and strength that sustain them throughout adversity, regardless of whether they witness or experience miracles. They also stated miracles validate religious beliefs by providing tangible evidence of divine power. However, the accessibility and relatability of religion does not solely depend on miracles. Rather, it is the constant application of moral and ethical principles that makes religion relevant and meaningful to people's lives. Moral teachings offer universal lessons that apply regardless of time and place, providing a continuous source of guidance that is more dependable than the occasional miracle. Now, on to my argument. No, thank you. Our third argument is that emphasis on miracles foster fear-based superficial faith at best, and we change that to the voluntary act of believing in the God which we think is better. So, even if we accept that emphasizing miracles could be effective in converting people, particularly those who are vulnerable or easily swayed, this approach often relies on instilling fear rather than fostering genuine belief. This emphasis on miracles portrays God as an active force in the material world, capable of dramatically altering life circumstances. This can lead people to convert not because they resonate with the religious teachings, because they fear potential divine punishment or risk to secure divine favor. We have to recognize that conversions driven by fear or awe of the miracles that you cannot comprehend are inherently superficial. Individuals may feel compelled to adopt a religion to avoid perceived threats or gain material benefits rather than out of a true connection with its moral and spiritual teachings. This kind of corrosive faith is fragile, as it's based on external pressures rather than internal conviction. For example, when religious leaders highlight miraculous punishment or blessings as an evidence of divine power, people might convert out of fear of these certain outcomes rather than a genuine belief in the religion's core principles. Hence, in a scenario where miracles are emphasized, followers are more likely to experience their faith as a source of anxiety rather than comfort. That is to say, believers have a higher chance of ditching the religion when the fear is gone. Believers are less faithful and devoted, meaning that the entire religious community is fragile at the end of the day. Furthermore, even the believers themselves, they can feel better by being truly faithful as they feel more actualized. Why is that counterfactual much better then? When the emphasis is placed on moral and ethical teaching of the religion and on spiritual connections with the divine, the potential for coercion is greatly reduced. While there still might be some element of fear related to the afterlife, these outcomes are distant and abstract, leading to less immediate pressure on individuals. This allows for a more voluntary and thoughtful conversion process, where people choose their faith because it aligns with their values and offers spiritual fulfillment, not because they feel forced by the threat of miraculous punishment retribution. Therefore, I'm proud to propose. Thank you.
Good afternoon, House at Large. I'm Renaya Lakhani, and I'll start my speech by rebutting my opponent, Grayson Kim. Sai Prabh says that miracles give false hope or set unrealistic expectations, but we think that there's a big distinction between hope and false hope. Hope is good, false hope is not. We cannot assume that all hope is false hope. While we accept that any activity should be driven from the scientific and rational point of view, we should also use hope as a tool to give people belief. Let me show you how this works. We believe that by investing in public education and awareness, governments can help people draw the distinction between genuine people and scamsters who are out to spread misinformation and false hope. In our opposition's world, we would rob the entire humanity of a powerful tool which can give hope, just because we worry about a few bad apples spreading false hope. In our world, we can help safeguard people from such false hope and therefore give them the power of hope. Moving on. For my first argument, I'll establish how miracles are a great tool to impart moral and ethical lessons to people, to live good lives for themselves and also help the needy. Dear panel, let's ask the fundamental question of why religion exists and what its true purpose is. In today's world, religion plays a crucial role in instilling positive values in us. All religion, whether Hindu or Islam, exists to provide people with the guide on how to live good lives and how to have a positive impact on society. These set of moral and ethical lessons are crucial to impart to everyone. However, people are headstrong and not easy to influence. If you and I stand up in the middle of a crowded market and start offering lessons on morality and ethics, do you think people will blindly start following us? Not really. We need a better tool to convey the message instead of doing good karma. With the same message delivered via miracles or divine intervention, people tend to pay a lot more attention to the lessons being imparted. For example, the story of the prodigal son who returns home miraculously and is forgiven by his father. This serves to impart a crucial lesson about the importance of compassion and forgiveness. The impact of miracles is that people become kind, step up and learn to do good work, help the poor and be just to everyone and become better human beings. This is the world we want to live in. If miracles can have such a positive impact on society, then is it really so bad to emphasize on them? For my second argument, I'll talk about how miracles lead to better community bonds and social cohesion. Dear panel, our world today is stricken with conflict and religious divides everywhere we look. There are hundreds of reasons for our society to fall apart and to fight with each other. People fight over borders, over religions, over resources, and much more. In such a scenario, our world needs a common glue which can tie us together and give us a sense of belonging to a shared common belief system. This is exactly where miracles come in. Shared beliefs in miracles can serve as a powerful unifying force within religious communities, fostering a sense of belonging and mutual support. To illustrate social bonds created by miracles, consider the following examples of their impact. 1. Pilgrimages. Many religions have pilgrimages to sacred sites associated with miraculous events, such as the Hajj pilgrimage in Islam. 2. Communal gatherings. Religious festivals such as Dashera in India revolve around a miracle event. This gathering provides opportunities for people to come together, pray and share their experience. 3. Support networks. Religious communities often provide support networks for individuals facing challenges. Miraculous events can serve as a source of inspiration and hope for them. The impact of this is that people feel a sense of belonging to their community support. The bonds within our society grow stronger and divisions get reduced. While we accept that there is skepticism around miracles, we must not deny the positive impact that miracles do have on people and our society at large. The benefits far outweigh the potential harms. With this, I rest my case, but never my stance. Thank you.
Judge, just before we're building onto our case, pointing out the downfalls and failures of the opposition team's logic, the opposition team is talking about these problems that will occur in our world, such as people suffering in the pandemic. However, this is even more likely in the opposition team's world, which people are only relying on miracles, and they are desperately believing that miracles can solve people's fate and anything. Yes, this is correct, but science. If science wasn't here, could we take over the pandemic? This proves that miracles only bring on hope, but does not solve the problem very directly. Also, they have a very unfair characterization about miracles. In their speech, they are characterizing miracles as very, very, very magical power and a magical hope that could do exceptionally anything. They are unfairly characterizing it as a power that can solve the pandemic. This is absolutely unfair of our team. They also stated random examples like religious godfathers, people fighting, which extends to the unfair characterizations. Moving on. Judge, the premise of our case revolves around the reality in which the existence of miracles defies scientific validation. In this unique world we inhabit, the fundamental tenet is rooted in the belief that extraordinary occurrences transcend on these explanations in rational information. Therefore, the point of our argument rests on challenging traditional norms and asserting in a diversity of a phenomena that follows conventional scientific understanding. It is within this context that we seek to redefine the boundaries of realistic. Yes.
Does side proposition believe that only science gives hope to people in all hopeless situations?
So no, we had already stated to you that religious powers also have the power to change people's fate. However, we are just believing that we are just not emphasizing we are just regretting that miracles did a huge impact on the religion spreads. So keep going on. Okay, first, moving on to clashes. First clash, which side has more safeguards? Judge, our case is very clear. We are trying to examine the truth that could be explained by science to our believers. Unlike the government team that does not have anything to successfully safeguard their side. The opposition is relying on one weak rope, which is a small hope of believers. However, this does not even stand in the future which science is developed, and religion loses the believers according to the opposition's case. It is essential for religions to organize themselves with faith that are proved with scientific understanding rather than magical things in beliefs that deny scientific explanation. Of course, we are not stating that religions are super scientific or things like that. However, we are proving that science will impact religion in the future. By having scientifically supported principles into their teachings, religions can foster a more harmonious relationship with modern knowledge and promote a deeper understanding of the natural world, which matches to the status quo. When religions are supported in logical and observable truths, they become more accessible and relevant to the current society we are living in. Judge, embracing faiths that are consistent with scientific discoveries can lead to a more inclusive and enlightened approach to spirituality, which safeguards our side even way better. Second question, which side allows more genuine believers? In the context of our case, it is our belief that the existence of miracles cannot be proven through scientific means. However, we are not insisting that religion is actually scientific. We're just stating that religions based on these things will bring on more and new believers in our case. We exist in reality, and the status quo is that we are living in a world where the occurrence of miracles is not validated by scientific evidence, creating a scenario where faith and scientific data clash. This clash serves as the main point of our arguments, bringing to the light of the inaccuracy of belief systems and their interactions with scientific principles. As we navigate the legal landscape, it becomes evident that our stance on miracles transcends moral superstition, delving into the realms of spirituality and the unknown. However, our science can prove and get some more believers in this world that we are living as follows the status quo. We absolutely believe that we take this very seriously home because we had excessively proved to you that in our case we could involve more believers that are in use these days. Thank you.
Imagine a young child lying in the hospital bed. The doctors have tried everything, but the sickness in her little body won't go away. The medicine has been hard, and the doctors don't know if she will get better. Her family is holding on to hope since science has stopped working. For this family and many others, miracles are not just stories. They are a light in the dark, giving strength and hope to when everyone feels hard. Panel, miracle is the engine that drives religion. No religion can exist without miracles. Good afternoon, panel. I, Rutva, would like to present 3 things in my debate today. 1 rebuttal, 2 summary of our arguments, and 3 conclude by proving why we win. Now moving on to the rebuttal. Said proposition says miracles undermine rational thought and weaken belief in science, making people rely on supernatural explanations rather than evidence-based solutions. But we think that miracles and rational thought can coexist. Belief in miracles doesn't stop people from valuing science or making logical decisions. Here's why. Throughout history, many great scientists and thinkers have believed in miracles while also advancing human knowledge. Science doesn't answer any questions on why we were born, why someone suffers cancer. So your world will look like a place where people lose emotional strength because they are forced to rely solely on science, which doesn't always provide comfort in difficult times. But our world will look like one where people use both faith and science to guide the action, balancing hope and practical solutions. Therefore, our world is better than your world because it offers a strong foundation for dealing with life challenges. What has happened in the debate so far? Ranaka summarized the need for hope in today's world. Renaya has already shown how miracles impart moral and ethical lessons, helping people live better lives and support the needy. She also explained how miracles strengthen community bonds. Moving on to the clashes of this debate. Faith versus blind faith. Proposition's counterfactual world de-emphasizes the miracles and will cause people to lose hope, and it makes religion ineffective. However, in the status quo, miracles inspire hope and encourage deeper spiritual growth. Miracles help people balance faith with reason, giving them strength to act when they face challenges. We win this clash because the status quo, faith in miracles gives millions hope to live and eventually they get on the right path. The proposition's counterfactual removes that crucial balance, leaving people without hope that drives them in difficult times. Unity versus division. Proposition argues that miracles divide communities, creating competition over whose miracles are valid. But we have shown that miracles bring people together, fostering unity and shared hope. Millions of people born together. Take the trip to Mecca from Muslims or Christmas in Vatican City. This brings millions of people together. We win on this clash because in the status quo, miracles strengthen community bonds, creating a shared purpose and solidarity, especially during challenging times. In conclusion, let's compare the worst case in our world with the best case in the counterfactual world and still prove why we win. Their best case is a world with rationality but striped of emotional and spiritual depth, leaving people with no hope when science fails. Our worst case, where some may misuse miracles, still offers unity, hope and comfort when nothing else can. Even in our world, our worst case, the human spirit is strengthened. With that, I rest my case, but never my stance. Thank you.
Miracles can happen every day. You just need to believe in them. In our world, science and religion together gives us the path to move forward in harmony. Science and miracles can coexist and play their own individual roles. When there's no other hope, people often turn to a prayer for a miracle. It's a natural human response when there's no other option. Miracles can inspire awe and wonder, reinforcing faith and keeping believers. These extraordinary events can serve as powerful symbols of divine power and love, strengthening the connection between individuals and their faith. Additionally, stories of miracles can be shared and passed down through generations, helping to perpetuate the religious traditions and beliefs. We believe in a world where everyone behaves kindly towards the others, where the rich freely give to the poor, where the entire society moves upward together without having anyone left behind. On the pretext of seeking miracles, normal humans end up performing various acts of kindness, such as giving alms or donations. Why is that such a bad thing? The proposition Deputy Prime Minister also mentioned that it's okay for the vulnerables who believe in miracles. That's only for the vulnerables who believe in the miracles. Yet, that's not entirely true. The largest private coke industries is yet one of the richest, yet still follow religion. This shows that it's not only the vulnerables who believe in miracles. With this, we have shown you how emphasis on miracles can be tremendously beneficial to our society. With this, I rest my case, but never my
OMG. Oh my god. The opposite side is just stating that religion will give hope and is the core of religion. Not only is this A, logical, but also B. Oops. Our arguments. On the other hand, us giving us rebuttals, and one of the arguments defending our case and rebutting the opposing team's case. Thus, so happy to propose. Moving on, as a provincial reply speaker in this debate, I'll reinforce our case and rebut the opposition team. Firstly, I'll elaborate more on the arguments and prove where we can anticipate hope. My first arguments really focus on losing the followers' faith. Miracles are extraordinary things that are very rare and not scientifically proven, and these qualities might have disillusionment and adapt religious followers. However, this only happens in their world, in the opposition's world. And on our side, we stated that through the internal pursuit of spirituality, this will not only provide a strong place for religions to keep faith in their believers, but also helps them attract new followers. This means in our team's world, we can assure you that the religion will be able to develop. Thus, so happy to propose. However, our side they electrical arguments and rebuttals, so now I'll start rebutting them. The first two arguments were mostly about people having help, but support for miracles is often temporary and depends on them expecting divine help. Moral and ethical teachings provide lasting strength that doesn't rely on outside events. When people follow moral teachings, they build inner strength that helps them through tough times even without miracles. Focusing on moral teachings can help us strong when life faith offers continued support and hope in all situations, not just when hope miracles happen. Also, miracles often help, but don't provide the steady guidance that moral teachings do. Moral and ethical teachings help people live meaningful lives and build strong relationships, which are a key for lasting religious conversion. Holy moral teachings give lasting purpose and direction, more reliable than hoping for miracles. While miracles may attract an initially true and lasting satisfaction comes from by living by moral principles. Focusing on morals ensures that the benefits of conversion are based on strong ethics and community and not just uncertain miracles. And let me give an example of what happened to Hope. Did you know Mother Teresa? She believed to be a saint that believed in miracles and tried to help poor people. But the darker aspect of Mother Teresa is this. When sick people went to her, instead of giving them medicine or at least trying to help them, she just said that miracles will help them and let go. Thus, millions of people died. Thus, she didn't post. Thank you.